hoof steps on the roof. There's a twinkle in my eye. I hear hoof steps on the roof. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Year-Round Tree, our holiday-themed bonus show. I'm Nikki P, here as always with my lovely wife Lizzie, as we sit by the campfire and prepare to talk about one of our favorite, or not favorite, Christmas specials. Today we'll be talking about the classic Elf. How are you doing, babe?
Good. I'm excited. I think this is one of the new classics, so I'm excited to talk about it.
I feel very differently about this movie than you do.
Do you really?
I also have some sort of way I'm feeling about that sweater that you're wearing today.
I see.
You got a lot of cojones, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
For those, since this is an audio podcast, she's wearing a Patrick Stewart Make It Snow Christmas sweater, and I'm just not sure after the recent show how anyone can watch that.
I know.
And think that they can get away with a Patrick Stewart anything.
I know.
The fact that he hasn't been burned at the stake yet is...
But I guess I chalk it up to his advancing years and just the company he keeps, unfortunately. And I mean, the character of Captain Picard and I think Patrick Stewart as an actor, we're a big likable thing for me for a very long time. So, I mean, even that phrase, make it snow, is part of our relationship because I think you got me an ornament to that effect at one point.
I know. He makes me regret it.
I refuse to let the awful management of the CBS production, ruin Christmas and Trek for me. I refuse to let that happen. So I'm wearing the sweater.
So what I'm going to say is I probably shouldn't drink too many of these Cape May cranberry mules.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to try one of those. That actually looks really good.
Vodka, muddled fresh cranberries, ginger beer, lime, and ice. Nice and simple.
Yeah. I mean, you had me at ginger beer and lime. But I have the Turkish Delight drink over here that I'm enjoying. So I'm just going to keep imbibing these.
I feel like rose petal infused anything I'm not about.
Well, I mean, there's rose and lemon and a little egg white to give you that kind of frothy feel. It's very, Turkish Delight. You know me.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like your drink sounds a lot like baking a cake.
I mean, there's vanilla syrup in it, which I guess probably doesn't help Okay, it's a confection. It's a convection, and there's freaking candy floss on it. How are you going to argue with something with candy floss on it?
I don't know.
But I do love the advent calendar thing you got going on over there. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, see, here's the thing. Normally, you would have the advent calendar for, every day of Christmas. So I thought, what is a way I can get out of doing extra laundry this month?
Okay. Just kind of keep working in the sweater, huh?
And so I got the advent calendar, so I have to wear it for 25 days.
Okay, that works.
I promise you, the unpackaging is going to be worth it when it happens.
I have no doubts about that.
So we're here talking about Elf this week.
Yes.
So I'm watching the movie and realizing that, oh shit, I keep wanting this movie to be Fred Claus, and it's not.
Yeah, I did. I couldn't help but make some comparisons myself, actually.
Like I kept wanting, I kept thinking he was going to teach the one guy how to pick up the girl Elf, and I'm like, oh wait.
Yeah, that's not this movie.
That is a far superior movie in my estimations.
And it's funny because they do, I don't know what it is, but a lot of the modern, we're in the North Pole, they kind of have a similar feel as far as the art direction goes. I don't know why. I guess those colors seem to work, those designs.
So they did a lot of really cool artwork for the North Pole setting. I love how everything was kind of all gray.
Yeah.
Like the shop, it was all painted. It wasn't real. It was very stylized, and I appreciated that. Which I find out when I was researching was because they hand painted all those sets, and there was 2 versions of each set.
Oh, for scale, right? Ugh.
Yes, so that they could do the forced perspective with Will.
That is pretty bonkers.
It is pretty bonkers. But so the movie starts off completely insane. The idea is that Santa's there at the orphanage, and he picks up his bag, and the baby climbed into it.
Right. And so where the heck is this nun that's supposed to be watching these children? She's...
Don't care. I want to know how the hell Buddy didn't freeze to death in that fucking bag, wearing no clothes.
Well, that's true too.
Flying hundreds of miles an hour in the fucking stratosphere in winter.
Apparently a really, really magical bag. I mean, because you figure Santa's pulling all the presents out of that. How does he not get crushed under the weight of, everybody's bikes and dollhouses and yeah.
I mean, essentially, you just had a baby crawl into a bag of holding.
Yes. Yes, you did. And somehow he escaped the black hole unscathed.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I mean, I don't imagine he would have just fell out. I mean, in a bag of holding, you have to think of the thing you want to pull out.
Right.
Did Santa ever think, oh, I wonder if there's a baby in here, and then pull out the baby?
No.
No.
But somehow he crawls out once they're back in the North Pole. So there you go. That must be the way the magic works. Just at the end of the night, it's whatever's left in here is coming out.
So they get a bunch of old school comedian heavyweights for the movie.
Yeah.
It's what, Ed Asner, and then who's his buddy's dad?
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart, that's right.
Yeah.
Bob Newhart's probably the highlight of the movie because he's just so likable.
He is so likable. It's ridiculous. He does that stuttery Bob Newhart thing, and you're like, oh, you.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You have, what's his name, who's going to end up playing Buddy's actual dad, James Caan.
Yeah, he's there. You got a what do you call it, cameo from Ralphie of the Christmas Story fame.
Who was he in this again?
He's Ming Ming, the elf at the North Pole. That's like,
he was one of the producers on this, right?
I mean, that makes sense. It's very seems like one of those things that he'd get behind.
Yeah, he was one of the producers on it, and they snuck him in that scene I was reading.
He's talking about Buddy not meeting his quota, which is pretty funny.
Poor Buddy.
He just doesn't have those nimble little elf fingers, you know?
So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I don't love this movie like other people did. No, don't get me wrong. I still cried at the end of it because I will cry at the end of apparently every Christmas movie.
Well, it's just so in the spirit.
Like, I am just so into Christmas spirit that, like, any Christmas movie I will cry at the end of. Even if I don't like it. I cried at the end of that Arthur Christmas movie. I barely liked that at all.
Really? I really did like that movie, actually.
I know you did, and I don't begrudge you for it. I don't.
But yeah, so this one, they kind of poke fun at the whole Rankin and Bass feel because they've got the talking snowman Leon, trying to tell him what's what.
I like Leon. By the way, Santa totally ragging on him. How the hell would he know what it's like out of the North Pole? He didn't even have any feet.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It was a good Ed Asner line.
That is why you get Ed Asner.
So for the people out there who have never seen this movie, which I presume is literally no one, Buddy is a human that gets raised by Santa's elves and sucks at being an elf. And so he finds out that he's not an elf, and he decides to go and find his birth father.
Right.
And his birth father, is Santa tells him, is on the naughty list.
Yeah, which is always funny.
And so you end up meeting his father, and you hate him, and then he has no character journey other than he just all of a sudden is a nice guy at the end for no fucking reason whatsoever. His character arc makes no sense because it's not an arc. It's just like a switch flips.
Yeah.
Like he's just a big pile of dick sandwich the whole fucking movie, and then suddenly at the end, he's cool.
He decides to stop being shitty for some reason.
Yeah, just on a dime. Like doesn't even appear to be any growth. There's no change. There's no thought. He's just, in one moment, he has that thought of, oh my God, my son. I want to go with my son. Why did he want to go with his son suddenly then, as opposed to any other fucking point in time in the movie?
I don't know. It's it doesn't make a ton of sense. It's true, but you know.
So you got Faison Love in the movie playing the Gimbals. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's the head of the North Pole at Gimbals.
Because Macy's turned them down to make this movie.
Yeah, which, I mean, I guess, whatever.
I feel like that was a terrible, terrible decision on their part.
I mean, as many people watch this movie every freaking year, I think they could have done with they could have used the publicity, but whatever.
Now, why is Buddy so fucking naive? I guess that's my big thing. Like, none of the elves seems that naive. Like, I think he meets what's her name and feels sexual desire, but has no knowledge of sexual desire. I mean, it's not like the other elves weren't fucking. They clearly had husbands and wives, and like new elves appeared.
The whole movie is a vehicle for Will Ferrell to play, this
childlike wonder.
A child, yeah, basically. But I think maybe it's something to do with the fact that he's a human. Maybe he just doesn't get things because they're elfish ways, and his brain just doesn't pick up on things because he's a human. I don't know.
Yeah. So there are two things that I do like about this movie. I like the mom.
Oh yeah, Miss Mary Steenburgen.
I do love me some Mary Steenburgen.
She's adorable as always, and It's just the thing that's hilarious to me about her character is how just go with the flow she is about everything. She's just like, wow, you've got this kid that, is a grown man now that you never knew about. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, he's eating all the sugar in my house. Hilarious.
It is. That is the best part. He just made me breakfast, which is spaghetti with syrup on it.
Yeah, she's just totally game for anything.
I am a little envious of his diet, though.
Yeah, you want to eat spaghetti with
I like his 4 food groups, Liz.
sugar, syrups, candy corns, candy. It's awful. It's disgusting. He'd be so sick, especially as a human in the elf world. Like if that's what elves actually eat, okay, fine. Maybe their digestive systems are different, but yeah, he'd be in a bad way he's clearly like 30 in this movie.
Oh no, honey, he's a lot older than that.
Well, I'm sure Will Ferrell is, but they're, trying to have him play ageless. So the character, I imagine, must be a little younger.
So Mary Steenburgen, and the other thing that's great about this movie, Louis Prima.
Louis Prima. Yeah, they do get a lot of Louis in there.
Louis Prima and a soundtrack makes everything better. Pennies from heaven.
It does. And it's so perfect for that little fish out of water montage that you're going to get in a movie like this. Come on now.
I love he keeps telling the story of how he got there.
Yeah.
Through the dizzy gumdrop, all of a sudden I'm in the Lincoln Tunnel. Wait a minute. There's some geography that I'm really missing here.
Right. You're
in the North Pole, brah. That's number one, some distance. And what happened to Canada in between the North Pole and the Lincoln Tunnel?
Right. Why are there gumdrops in Canada?
Is this movie making a low-key statement about Canada?
I don't know. I don't know. But there you go. Yeah, so he gets to New York and meets his dad, and
He's a son of a bitch.
He is. But he's not exactly tactful in the way that he approaches him because he doesn't know anything about anything. So he's just basically like shows up, I'm your son, I love you, and yeah, let's be a family now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he eventually he goes to get a paternity test. Who gives the paternity test? None other than the director.
Right.
Jon Favreau.
Right. Which is hilarious.
He's a good director. He makes a good movie.
I actually do tend to like his, the movie he directs.
He just gets Hollywood. Ultimately, I think that's what it is. He just he's just a good working director.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes unbelievable art.
Yeah.
He just makes a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he's perfect in the Disney marriage because he's not trying to make high art. He's just trying to make an appealing film.
Yeah.
That lets you get lost in it, and he's super good at that.
Didn't he make one of those Iron Mans? Not one of the great ones, but
he made the original one for sure.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, then yeah.
And he's in the movies.
Well, no, I know he's a huge part of those movies. Honestly, I love his character in those movies.
But yeah, no, he's always doing it. I think the first thing I ever heard of him directing was Zathura back in the day.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that was a good one.
He also in this movie plays another character. He does the voice acting for the giant horned whale. What are those things called?
Yeah, the narwhal.
Oh yeah, he's Mr. Narwhal.
Yeah, and you love the narwhal because he just pops up out of nowhere, and there's this dramatic pause, oh my gosh, there's a giant freaking narwhal, and he's just
there's a giant thing with a spike in its face. What's it want?
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Yeah, then he wishes buddy goodbye.
Just okay.
Hope you find your dad, buddy.
That was so silly. But everybody loves that part of the movie, I swear.
So you've got all that going on. Then you got the buddy finds his dad. His dad works for a children's book company, and he's the kind of guy that's gonna take books away from a nun on Christmas.
Right.
Fuck that orphanage.
We've established he's a horrible person.
Yes, he's just a bad guy. Now, there's some other fun stuff in this, in that the best scene in probably the whole fucking movie is where Peter Dinklage is in the movie.
Oh my gosh. And because
Peter Dinklage is the best actor in the fucking world.
He's awesome. He's just awesome in this movie.
And so Will Ferrell gets put in a scene with Peter Dinklage where he looks at him, in his brain, he's an elf.
Right, because, again, no tact.
Yeah, but we're dealing with a guy who's a well-respected children's book author and kind of like a shark in the business world.
Right.
And he's call me elf one more time. He's just really and so he leaves the room, and then Will Ferrell's well, he must be one of those South Pole elves.
It's just that whole scene is just beautiful.
Well, even when they're setting up the scene, then they're doing the phone call with Peter Dinklage's character,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like demanding like what you're gonna get,
Yeah.
and like, oh my god, it's ridiculous.
Well, and he's talking about the children's book, and oh no, you can't do that. It's just this is what you need in the children's book game. I've been doing this for years.
And by the way, he totally fucking lied to them.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He totally lied to him because what he was gonna write was the same was basically that book.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he accidentally left his notes there.
It's true. And it's funny because the team that he's got in the office is freaking Andy Richter and freaking Kyle Gass. Those are his two storyboard guys.
The fact that Andy Richter rules the universe wasn't a bigger TV show really pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't get why.
Wrong. People are fucking wrong, Liz.
Yeah. And that was like back when the Conan O'Brien show, I think, was a big thing. So if it was going to take off, it would have taken off then. It sucks that it didn't.
No, it'll be what it'll be. We're getting towards the end of this, and we haven't even mentioned that there's the whole love story behind it with the...
Right. Zooey Deschanel, who went blonde for this short period for no reason.
No, Zoe started blonde.
Okay.
Zoe is a blonde.
I don't think she's a blonde.
Well, she's not really a brunette.
Okay, fair enough.
As if you ever seen the movie The New Guy?
Yeah, she's blonde in that.
She's blonde in that too.
All right, fair enough.
What color's her sister's hair?
I have no idea.
I think it's more of a light brown.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I figured. It was probably like an average girl, brown, and she's...
Well, let's put it this way. It ain't the rich black that she's going with.
Yeah, well, that I would buy.
So, yeah, Zooey Deschanel, it's an early role, and she pulls out her singing chops in it, like, because Buddy always says the best way to spread Christmas cheer is for singing loud for the world to hear.
Right.
And so, when Santa's sleigh crashes in the middle of Central Park and they need to get that thing going again,
Right.
Buddy's trying to fix it because his dad taught him how to fix it. But he needs some Christmas cheers to get it started because that's what Santa's sleigh runs on. It's so tough these days because there's just no Christmas cheer. And so
Right.
she starts singing, and then eventually the thing that finally gets them over the edge is they get James Caan's character singing.
Right, and he actually sings. I mean, I like that whole scene too because
I know I cried. I cried my eyes out.
Yeah,
Like, I get it.
the kid binds Santa's book and it's funny.
But for me, it's like, I cry because I'm like, everything. I mean, the reason we do this show is because I'm obsessed with Christmas spirit.
Yeah, and we need more of it in the world. And
Yeah. And I really, really hate that like the world is as crazy as it is right now. And I feel like
Yeah.
they've actively tried to push any feelings of goodwill towards man out of and away from people.
yeah, and that sucks.
So there you have it, folks. That's why I love Christmas movies so much, because it's the only thing that brings me a little bit of hope.
There you go.
Glad they keep making them at least. Means somebody cares.
Yeah.
So there's somebody out there.
Yeah, and this is one of the newer ones that actually I feel like shows a lot of that good Christmas spirit. So
You know what did it better?
oh yeah, Fred Claus, but
Well, I was going to say Klaus, but Fred Claus too.
you and your friggin' Klaus. Maybe I will watch that again next year, and I will feel what you felt
You're going to watch it again later this year.
this Christmas. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll watch it this Christmas, and maybe
You don't know how many times I'm going to watch that this season, Liz.
when I'm actually in the Christmas spirit, I'll get there. I don't know.
Well, I'm always in the Christmas spirit.
I thought that I was too, but maybe I just wasn't quite enough for that one. But anyway,
Maybe you're just not at my level of Christmas spirit.
exactly. I got to get on your level, baby.
Anyways, folks, this has been another year-round tree. Enjoy the season.